So essentially, in certain parts of the country, if you live in a place that has these laws on the books, this means that you might be financially responsible for an aging family member. There are only a couple of states that actually have records of these laws being enforced. But if you don't live in one of the states where filial support laws are currently in place or enforced, you could also inadvertently become financially responsible for the care of a loved one, particularly a family member. Here's what you need to watch out for. If you're in a position now where you are assisting an elderly family member with placement into assisted living or a long-term care facility, you're going to have a lot of paperwork to fill out. If the patient, the loved one who you're working with, is not competent to be able to sign these themselves, and you are or aren't their medical power of attorney, but you're helping them fill the paperwork out and they're signing things, if they're not competent, they should have someone declared as medical and legal power of attorney. But so let's assume that that's all taken care of. When you're in a position to be signing paperwork or helping a loved one sign paperwork, never, under any circumstances, do you sign under something called a guarantor or a payer. Signing your name under those types of signature lines are indicating that you will also be responsible financially for this person. These are legally binding contracts, so be very careful to read all of the fine print when you're signing something and helping a loved one get into assisted living or some kind of a care facility. That said, the majority of the states in the US do not have filial support laws that are enforced. While many of them do have those laws on the books, they are so rarely enforced as to be almost non-existent. For instance, your loved one has been in long-term care for a long time. They end up moving into memory care. There's a big bill that's going to shift and change and get paid, and their finances aren't set up in a way that they're able to now cover the additional costs of that. They may decide to go after family if you live in a state that supports this. There are many steps that can be taken before that happens. If there was a history of abuse or neglect in the family, that can also automatically disqualify a child of that parent from having to care for or be financially responsible for them. These are important conversations to have. This is your free bit of advice from your friendly neighborhood death midwife. Know the laws, know what your obligations are, and under no circumstances do you take on any responsibility for someone who has abused you in the past. Ever. You've always deserved better.